If you've been painting in watercolor for a while, you probably know that these two giant brands, Fabriano Artistico and Arches, are one of the two most popular watercolor paper brands out there. So in today's video, I am going to do a review of the two papers using a little challenge that I have devised on my own in my studio, which is to paint a lovely floral painting in both of these papers. And look, I'm not even showing you which is which brand at the moment. You gotta watch the video to find out, and to also find out which is my favorite and why. So if this sounds interesting to you, let's dive right into the video. Let's look at this gorgeous reference photo that we will be painting from, and it is found on Pinterest under by this person called Style Me Pretty. And what I love about this is because it's got a rainbow palette, meaning it's got all the colors of the rainbow, from the yellows to the purples, blue, pink, and green, of course. So I'm really excited to paint this. And of course, today we are doing a showdown between these two power brands in the watercolor paper world, Fabriano Artistico and Arches, or Arche, depending on how you wish to pronounce it. So it's really Italy versus France in a way. And I have used these two brands quite a lot. And where I am in Australia, these two brands are almost equally as expensive if you want to buy them in blocks. Today I'll be using pads, so meaning they're only glued in one side, and it's both A4 size. And what else? You can find this as well in full sheets, which is 30 by 22 inches. And I have bought those before and cut them up and used them in full sheets. But my favorite to use are actually blocks. But blocks are, you know, unfortunately the most expensive. And yeah, so these are the two powerhouse brands that you see lots of professional artists use. They don't even come in non-cotton, all right? So they're all 100% cotton. You can find them in cold press, rough, or hot pressed. And I'll do another video totally dedicated to paper and all the different kinds of paper in another video. But for today, I'm using cold press. Both are 300 GSM. And yeah, let's begin. Let's open up the two different pads. So this one already I can feel is off-white. So it's a slightly creamier color. And Arches is more white. So I would say I prefer a brighter white because I think it works really beautifully with watercolor florals. But let's see how we go today. All right, so I'm just grabbing my little 1/2 inch flat wash. And so today is not really about the painting, but it's more about just comparing both of these papers. And I will be working quite fast because you know, I don't want to be painting for hours and hours here. And with loose florals, generally you do go quite fast. So let's get started straight away. I'm grabbing my Permanent Rose by PwC Shinhan for that first beautiful, I'm not sure what flower that is, but it's just a bloom right in the middle. So I'm going to start with my Fabriano first. Just getting little dabs of that first red flower that is pretty much in the center of this composition. And I'm gonna go into my arches. Immediately, I'm feeling like I prefer Fabriano, which I kind of do actually in all my experiences using both paper. Fabriano feels like it just took the paint more readily. And Arches, for some reason, it feels like it's still sort of like on the paper and not being absorbed as well. And it's got more of a waxy feel, if I can sort of describe it. And at parts, it feels like it's just not taking it, whereas Fabriano, it just slides on beautifully, okay? Really, really, really beautifully. Oh my God, yes. Okay, that's my first bloom there. And then the next one I want to do is this very beautiful lilac colored one, which I'm grabbing my lilac color. I have a lilac color which I hardly use because I find it a bit too opaque. But let's just give it a whirl, shall we? So I think this is a zinnia, a little zinnia flower. And as you can see, it's a bit chalky and opaque, but it's fine, it's fine. I'm just working my way around the imaginary center, touching a bit of that pink to see how it bleeds. And I have a video which I show you how I paint zinnia flowers, and it's actually more accurate than this, so pardon me if it does not look like a zinnia, okay? A little bit of, I don't know what this is, a leaf or a branch has stuck on my paper and it's annoying me, but it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It'll probably lift eventually. All right, that was Fabriano, and I got a bit wet, and like I said, I don't use this color very often, so I'm not sure how I felt about that. Let's go and do the arch ones. Again, that same waxy feeling I got is replicating itself. And I don't know, some people don't mind it. And it's so interesting to do a side-by-side comparison like this, because then you really can feel the difference, you know. It feels like this Arches paper is also more textured, so it's coming through a bit more. Okay, I'm gonna leave that purple flower there now. All right, I'm gonna move on to the yellow flowers. I can see, grabbing some cadmium yellow and just creating some petals going around this flower, and then another one here. Oh gosh, I already know who's gonna win this challenge. Should we just stop here? I don't know, all you Arches fans are gonna be screaming at me like, how can you do this? But seriously, Fabriano, I've done this challenge before, by the way, on my Instagram account. This is before my YouTube days. And I really enjoyed, I painted two side by side, Fabriano and Arches, and in that one, Fabriano won. So let's see how this one turns out, okay? At the end of the day, it's just a review, and you need to decide for yourself what you prefer and what you like. In any case, I'm just enjoying making two pretty identical paintings. It's kind of a fun challenge. So just getting these like cone flower thingies up here. I'll just do two. All right, and then let's work on this beautiful, very light blue hydrangea, hydrangea type flower down here that's really fading into the background. But I'm grabbing this cerulean blue, which I don't use super often, but it's there, and I thought I should use it. So just using that flat brush method, which I love so much, which is just kind of like press and lift to get a bulby shape flower here. It's so funny, I do use Arches quite a lot in my videos because I managed to find a good deal in Singapore where I go back quite often because my family is there and I'm originally from Singapore, and in a shop called Art Friend they have like a member discount. So I do grab a couple of pads of this A4 size Arches whenever I go, and when I do them in my tutorial I'm really happy with them and I'm not complaining, I enjoy it. But when I do it side by side like this, I am just quite like, oh my god, do I really use this? I'm dipping some Prussian blue into the hydrangea to give it a bit of shadow, and look at how it spreads. Look at how this one spreads compared to this one. This one is like quite just a big bumbly mess if you ask me, whereas this just spreads a little bit more predictably and calmly if you ask me. All right, let's do a couple of these purple, darker purple, what flowers are those? I don't know what they're called, but anyway, I'm just going to do one here, and I'm just using like this kind of motion with with the sharp edge of the brush. And the same here. Okay, this one's not too bad. I didn't dip in an extra bit of this dioxazine purple because I thought it's quite dark already. Just wiping my brush off and maybe mixing a bit of burnt umber in there to do the one that's up here. Almost like a brown. Oh, this is cute. As in the color is cute. I'm still preferring the Fabriano. All right, we don't even need to watch this video anymore. Anyway, let's keep going, okay? You can even just watch this video to do a paint along as well. It's a review and a paint along. I'm doing one more here. All right. So I think we need to put in some of the stems and leaves, which is always a really awesome fun part. So grabbing some Sap Green. My Sap Green's running out. I need to squeeze more into my palette. Okay, so let's start with this side here, and I'm just gonna start. So this bouquet has quite a lot of beautiful. Oh, that's quite thick. That's what happens when you're lazy to change brush. You just want to use one brush for everything. It's okay. Let's get one stem out here, and just some thinner leaves sticking out on this side. So just diluting your brush with all that green to get a lighter hue of that beautiful green. And just using just these gentle strokes. Let's get one stem out here. I'm not following this reference to a T, obviously, because it's just too much detail. So just pick and choose the blooms that appeal to you and the blooms that you want to include. And usually, obviously, you use all the bigger ones, and then the smaller ones you just pick and choose which one you feel drawn to. And I might add a few more flowers after this little round of greens. But it's nice to just place some greens in, because I think it's for me, it feels like a reward, you know? Whenever I put down the leaves, it's like, yes, I made it to this part. I deserve some happiness. I deserve some reward. And seriously, putting down leaves feels like a reward. So just some darker leaves here and there. Okay. I love it. I'm loving how is this turning out. Okay, I'm just gonna add an orange flower that's faded at the back there, okay? And I'm just gonna add that here. Very, very, very light orange. So cadmium orange. I have a cadmium orange. You can mix up your own little orange as well. And then just have it just in the back here. And it's kind of like cornflower or something. Also another cornflower, doesn't matter. And then maybe just another little baby, very slight pink ones up here. So that's gone a bit muddy, but that's fine. Bit of baby pink flower up here. All right, and what else? Yeah, and then just another purpley one down here. Ooh, that's a bit dark. Bit too dark, so just wash that off. Lovely. So I'm just gonna connect these new blooms back to the center of the flowers, and just using mostly water to pull out some leaves. Again, from both of the paintings. Okay, at this point, I already can observe there is this kind of bloom that's happening here that I didn't really watch or be very careful with. And there are just less unexpected blooms with Fabriano. There just is, okay? I really cannot make this up. It's just right in front of you. Right, there's a bit of emptiness going around here. So what I'm gonna do is just maybe put some like very neutral colored sort of, oh wait, my brush is a bit dirty there. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna use a bit of this green gold and just gonna put some like little round buds just around here. 1, 2, 3. Just to fill up a bit of space there. Bum, bum, bum. Connect that somehow. Connect that all into the bouquet. Ah, lovely. All right, so let's put some centers into the flowers so that it feels a bit more like they're just, you know, not just these headless things. So with this purple one here, it's got like a yellow outer, and then it's got like a red middle center. So I'm just gonna put the yellow bit first, okay? Obviously these little cone flowers need a little burnt umber stamen, like a little hat. So just gonna dot there. Oops, still a bit wet. That's fine. There we go. And then this like little sunflower here also has a bit of brown center. So just gonna, ooh, that's a bit much. Lovely, lovely. And then these zinnias also have a bit of yellow center. So I'm just gonna place a bit of yellow there. Yellow. Like, you know, you can go as beautifully detailed as you like with the center, but for this little comparison here, I'm just gonna be not so detailed. And then at the bottom of these two, I'm just gonna add a bit of the dark purple / burnt umber, just to darken the bottom of these, give it some definition there. How does that look? Cute? Cute. All right, let's add a bit more leaves here and there, especially this one. I feel like there's not enough leaves going on in this arches piece. Some bigger leaves maybe, some smaller leaves. It just feels drier, you know, like I get more of a dry brush effect with the Arches pad. And I do know that some artists feel like sometimes their paper actually expires, but I don't know if that's very applicable to drier countries. So I'm in Australia, and Australia's pretty dry. So I don't really experience that sort of like expiry, but some artists I know have experienced times where like the paper just goes off, like the sizing completely just ruins the paper, and everything feels like it's kind of, nothing gets absorbed, everything's floating or something like that. So I don't know if that's something you've ever experienced. Let me know in the comments if that's happened to you. Beautiful. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna add some stems, okay? Because this is actually, I think, a wedding bouquet or some handheld bouquet. So otherwise, it just looks a little bit like everything's floating. So grabbing some burnt umber, mixing a bit of that green together, and just pulling out a couple of stems from the center of the bouquet, and mix up green and browns, okay? Because you don't want to just have it all green or all brown. And then just have it extend up the color as well, so it doesn't look so odd, like it's just sticking out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so that went really well. I like that. And let's do the same for the Arches bouquet. Just stick it out here and there. Beautiful. Have a glance at your beautiful painting. And I'm not sure if you can just observe just the colors. Both are very vibrant. Both actually, I can't say there's a difference in terms of how it's drying. Both is pretty much the same. I think it's more like the texture and the roughness. Arches is more rough. Fabriano is a little bit smoother, although both is cold press. And I'm a Fabriano fan. I don't know how to explain, how to, you know, describe this. But if you ask me, I feel like if I'm gonna be buying paper in the future, I will try my best to look for Fabriano because it really feels like it's more worth it. I'm gonna stop this painting at this stage and not do a second layer because I think it illustrates my point really well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments which have you tried before, which do you prefer? And what other brands are you keen on me doing this again? I'd love to know. Yeah. And there you have it. My two very identical floral paintings on the two paper that is one of the best known papers out there. Let me know in the comments again which one's your favorite. And if you like loose florals and you kind of like the way that I approach them, I do have a free mini ebook that you can download straight away. All you need to do is sign up to my mailing list, and I'll put the link in the description below. And the ebook is called 9 Secrets to Loose Florals, which is a really little passionate piece that I have written, and I really hope that you will resonate as well. So go and grab it straight away as you sign up to my mailing list. Otherwise, please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.